Pillowcases are the best. Yay!
Hey guys, it's Alana from Fridays Off Fabric Shop, and I'm super pumped because I'm doing my first tutorial today. We're gonna make standard pillowcases. Standard pillowcase is 20 inches by 26 inches. Everybody has them on their bed. If you're a first-time sewer, this project is for you because you're gonna walk away with a beautiful pillowcase, and I can guarantee that you're gonna be able to do it, no problem. So let's get started. For this project, you're gonna need obviously fabric. You're gonna need about 1.5 yards of fabric or 1.5 meters of fabric, a tape measure, pins, and of course scissors. And then last but not least, a thread that coordinates with your fabric. Now, if you're a beginner sewer, you may not know this, but when you buy your fabric and you bring it home, you're going to wash it. And when it comes out of the dryer, it's gonna look like this. So before we even get started, you need to press your fabric. So let's go do that now. Okay, so you might be wondering, why the heck do I have to wash my fabric? The reason is obviously shrinkage. You wanna shrink your fabric as much as you can before you start sewing with it, because you don't wanna sew something up and then wash it and then it's all out of whack. Okay, so now for the pressing. So you're just gonna put your fabric down, grab your iron, and get ironing. So now that we're finished pressing, we're gonna measure how much fabric we need for the pillowcase pattern. So in this case, we need 41 inches wide by 26 inches long. Now when you're buying any kind of standard fabric, it usually comes in 44-inch width. So we're just gonna have to trim it back a little bit to 41 inches. Okay, so I've got my fabric on my table here. So I'm taking the tape measure across 41 inches. So this is perfectly 41 inches. I just took the selvage edge off. Now I didn't really think my project through properly because I'm using this directional print. So when the pillowcase is finished, these little clouds with raindrops, they're gonna be sideways, but I don't really care. So now let's measure 26 inches down. I've already cut the fabric, but there we go. It's 26 inches long here. So you just cut that rectangle. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the coordinating fabric. This is like the finishing edge. So I picked this little raindrop one, and it's gonna be cut 41 inches wide by 9 inches long. My fabric is cut 41 inches wide, but I just wanna show you how I measure 9 inches down. So you'll see that this edge isn't perfectly straight. If you line it up on your cutting mat, I line it up right on the edge and then along this top line, and you'll see here that it's starting to go off the line. So what I do is I measure down from the line, and I use a marker. Some people use chalk, but it doesn't matter to me. So I measure 1 inch down from this line, and then I know that this new line that I've drawn is the straight line and the one that I can measure from and then cut from eventually. So now that you've cut your band, you're going to take the short side and you're going to just fold it in half with the wrong sides together. So in sewing, this is the wrong side and this is the right side. So you're going to put the wrong sides together and just fold it in half. Now that we've got our band pressed and cut, we're gonna now put the band onto the main part of the pillowcase fabric. So you're gonna lay your main print face up, so right side up, and then you're gonna lay the band right on top, and we're gonna pin it in place to get ready to sew. Pin, pin, pin. And now that that's pinned together, just like that, we can go to the sewing machine and start sewing. Okay, so now we're gonna start sewing. I'm super awkward right now because I'm bending over. However, so I've got my fabric in there and we're gonna have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So a 1/2 inch on my machine is 4/8. You'll be able to see it on your machine, whatever that is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start sewing. so my band is sewed on. Doesn't that look super cute, cool? So now what we're gonna do is we're going to fold the pillowcase in half. So it's starting to look like a pillowcase. Okay, and then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pin all the sides together that we're gonna sew up. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I've pinned around the whole outside of the pillowcase, and now I'm gonna start sewing.
And just like that, you've got yourself a pillowcase. A cute little pillowcase. Isn't that so cute? So all I did was after I finished sewing, I flipped it right side out and put it on a pillow, and now I'm gonna have a nap because I've got a little bit of a cold and I'm not feeling too great today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video tutorial. I'm gonna be back with more. If you have any comments or you're looking for other projects to work on, even beginner projects, let me know in the comments below. You can also find me on Instagram, Pinterest, on Facebook and Twitter, and of course in my little shop at fridaysoff.ca. So come check it out, buy some fabric, make some pillowcases, and I hope to see you soon. Happy sewing!